Anyway, let's start.
Now to something much less exciting. Americans may need to start their holiday shopping early this year because of bottlenecks in the world's supply chains. Shipping containers and unloaded ships are jamming up ports, and there's a shortage of truck drivers to get the products out to customers. President Biden is meeting with business executives and port directors today to try to address this problem. Meanwhile,
in order to address this problem, they are they're going to change the Long Beach and Los Angeles ports into 24 hours. Like the California ports are going to be operating 24 hours, 7 days a week. Okay? But they already have been, if I'm not mistaken. The White House officially addressed this after this news broke, by the way.
In playing Diablo 2.
And the reason why they're doing that is so that like a lot of the backlog of container carrying vessels can come into the ports. But the problem is what's going to happen with overtime pay, hazard pay, a lot of things in situations like this. A lot of workers get fucking abused. Okay. I personally do not give a fuck about not getting my treats on time or whether it's my desk or not. Obviously there's like life-saving medication and shit too. Which should get priority. But ultimately, you know, this has caused the shortage in like a lot of the larger items specifically. Like, you know, couches, whatnot, beds, things like that aren't domestically manufactured. Perhaps we should have a little bit more domestic manufacturing. That could possibly be a good thing. Who knows? As far as everything else goes, you know, these guys currently, the stevedores, longshoremen. What is this? Did you ever see this hilarious clip about you? No. Stevedores, longshoremen, truck drivers, and delivery drivers currently have a profound amount of power. Okay? A profound amount of power. I'm not going to look at this clip right now, man. I'm just like, I'm in the middle of something. And if they are overworked and overstressed, this is an opportunity for them to unionize, strike for better fucking workplace conditions, and all that good stuff. So, if anything shows how easily workers can topple the system by not working. By the way, for the record, I mean, not to use this as an opportunity to plug my merch, but my merchandise is domestically manufactured. Everything is done in the United States of America, baby. Good old US of A. Union labor. Unionized labor. So when my shit comes around, and it's going to come around soon, we're going to launch it really soon, okay? You will be able to get it on a simple 8-week runway exclusively, because the 8-week runway is because it's the first ever campaign. So they're like, what is it called? It's like you pre-order it and then they make enough for the orders. But if it wasn't like that, if they like just blasted it out because they knew exactly how many people would purchase, normally you could get it immediately.
Wow, Edadio.
New merch or the restock? No, all new merch. All new merch, baby. All new merch. That's even worse for you. What?
Pog hassle.
100% sourced in the US. Yes. Yes. It's fucking all United States. Profits are going to the strike funds. One of the merchandise, one of the shirts is going to be the unionized tee. That one will have all profits on my end, and hopefully all profits if I can get the company that like does all the work for me on the back end to agree to it. At least on that product, I hope all my profits and their profits together will go to strike funds that we pick. So, yeah.
9, let's go.
It will ship internationally as well. Are you going to use the proceeds to get the Lamborghini you deserve? Yes. Port operators in America are basically unionized. You are usually grandfathered in. Getting a job isn't easy. They're generally paid. They're actually paid handsomely, and most of the time they're actually overpaid for their work. The stevedores are contracted out and usually have weird contract requirements. Example, they contracted an 8-hour bid. So if they take 17 hours to load, unload a vessel, they get paid for 24 hours. Source, this is my job.
I don't know if you already do this, but it would be cool if each union involved with making the merch had its symbol put on it. Hasan merch with union symbol on the sleeve would be pretty dope. I don't know if they'd be down to. Hashtag brand risk PPLR.
We are not doing that,
20.
but that does seem like a good idea, but I can't fucking literally change that last second, you know what I mean? It's a cute idea though. I like it. Maybe on the next one.
6 months has Poggies, take me into your loving arms, kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars, place your head on my beating heart.
Anyway, I buy Christmas gifts during the summer. Respect my game. I'll wear a union shirt to an Amazon fulfillment center. Okay, well, don't get fucking fired, brother.
Hassle.
Okay, no, he said the unionized dock workers are overpaid. I don't think he's saying the stevedores are. Well, I guess he technically is. He's saying how the stevedores cheat.
Here's some more Bezos money to pay off the Porsche loan.
Anyway, let's watch.
While our Weisha Zhang is at the White House for us, covering all of it. Weisha, hope you started shopping early. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Tony, and good morning to everybody. The administration just announced that several of the companies President Biden is meeting with today, like UPS and FedEx, will be moving to 24/7 operations to try to clear up some of that congestion. And 2 ports in California that handle 40% of the country's cargo containers will also open around the clock. But some supply chain experts worry that still won't be enough to get things moving.
Shipping delays will result in empty shelves.
Carly McGinnis is the COO of a California-based toy company struggling to fulfill some orders because their products are trapped in the port of Long Beach. McGinnis's team considered taking drastic measures to retrieve them.
Chartering a helicopter to come and try to pull the container out of the shipyard. We also debated renting a U-Haul to unload it ourselves.
Thousands of containers are stuck because the ships transporting them have nowhere to go.
It's like taking 10 lanes of freeway traffic and squeezing them into 5.
Ports across the country are dealing with similar bottlenecks. In March 2020, COVID restrictions caused ports to cut capacity. As the economy rebounds, there's more stuff to import. But on the ground, trucks can't move it fast enough, due in part to a driver shortage. The Biden administration is working with states to speed up the process to get trucking licenses out faster. Ryan Peterson, who runs a tech company for global logistics, says the help can't come soon enough.
How difficult is it to build a new port? Dude, this is not, and I say this with my entire chest, communist China. Do you know how long it would take to fucking facilitate a contract, take the resources and time to even figure out where, engage in the act of purchasing the land? It would take at least like 20 years, okay? It would take like 15 fucking years if we accelerated the process. You literally cannot do that. You cannot just like build a port. Unless it's China. China would be able to build a port in 1 year.
9 months.
No joke. They would just be like, this is our land now. Thank you for cooperation. And then they would be like, they would throw humans at the problem and be like, build a fucking port right now. And then they would they would literally drone shoot it the entire time so they can fucking flex on the timeline too. They'd be like, hey, look at us. We just built a new port in a year, okay? Welcome. They built one here in Pakistan in like 2 years legit. Yeah, they fucking... Yeah, they built 12 hospitals in 3 months at the start of COVID. Do you guys remember the drone footage of them just like literally building hospitals? Like in a matter of 7 fucking days, dude. They were just like, come in, open up the land, put the hospital down and be like, all right, we're done here. All right, let's move on to the next city. It was fucking insane. Article on the dev truck sensor shortage. It's not a shortage of truck drivers. We're sending truck drivers home because we have trucks down.
Thanks for
yeah, Selena fucking Gomez, I think is my only like either related to a truck driver or literally is a truck driver, but also a Selena Gomez fan. I'm very interested to find out what this person's background is because they've been talking about the depth sensor the depth sensor shortage for like a day now, like a whole ass day. And I love that. Like, I love what's going on here. You know what I mean?
Hey, chatter girl just told me I look like a
Like, I need to understand if you're like related to a truck driver, or Lamau, I'm a truck driver too. Yeah, no wonder I got fucking long ass community subs in here. Truck drivers are caked, dude. They are fucking caked up, as we talked about yesterday. I'm just imagining a truck driver who's I work for a construction company. We have 4 trucks that have been down for over a month.
6
This
months,
is this. I have more questions.
We should move in together and radicalize the children's.
So you work for a construction company, but you're like a Selena Gomez stan? I love that. Like, so what?
Yeah,
are you working on the fucking... Are you working out, wearing a hard hat, jamming out the Selena fucking Gomez, you know? You're like, I don't really appreciate the OSHA regulations around not wearing my fucking AirPods in the workplace when I'm, you know, operating tools and shit, using like saws and whatnot, because I want to fucking jam out to my goddamn Selena Gomez, you know? I love that. My name comes from CS16. We all had names like this. Back then it was Britney fucking Spears. Yeah, sure, buddy. Selena Gomez, music transcends socioeconomic lines, you uncultured swine. True. By the way, truckers can and should be socialist. It's heavily, especially in the heavily unionized parts of the trucking sector, they are very well paid.
Wondering if gifts you plan to buy will arrive on time.
They're also at the fucking heart of like the labor union movement, and especially in like the past couple of decades.
The material and parts get
Fucking
delivered
Teamsters,
to
baby.
a factory, so we can manufacture things and manufacture them here. How we move things, how a finished product moves from a factory to a store to your home. And today we have an important announcement that will get things you buy to the shelves faster. I'm joined by the Executive Director of the Ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, Gene Soroka, and Mario Cordono. I apologize, Mario. And the President of the International Longshoremen's Union, Willie Adams. Los Angeles and Long Beach are home to 2 of the largest ports in America.
It's like 70%,
together,
isn't it?
these ports are among the largest in the world. And the best way to make that point is that 40% of shipping containers that we import into this country come through these 2 ports. And today we have some good news. They're going to help speed up the delivery of goods all across America. After weeks of negotiation and working with my team and with the major union retailers and freight movers, the Port of Los Angeles announced today that it's going to begin operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This follows the Port of Long Beach's commitment to 24/7 that it announced just weeks ago. 24/7 system, what most of the leading countries in the world already operate on now, except us, until now. This is the first key step toward moving our entire freight, transportation, and logistical supply chain nationwide to a 24/7 system. And here's why it matters. Traditionally, our ports have only been open during the week, Monday through Friday, and they're generally closed down at nights and on weekends. By staying open 7 days a week, through the night and on the weekends, the Port of Los Angeles will open over 60 extra hours a week will be open. In total, that will almost double the number of hours that the port is open for business from earlier this year. That means an increase in the hours for workers to be moving cargo off ships onto trucks and rail cars to get to their destination. And more than that, the night hours are critical for increasing the movement of goods because highways are less crowded at night. In fact, during off-peak hours in Los Angeles, cargo leaves the port at a 25% faster pace than during the day shift. So
the
by
second
increasing
house
the number
less
of
than
late night
3.
hours of operation and opening up for less crowded hours when the goods can move faster, today's announcement has the potential to be a game changer. I say potential because all of these goods won't move by themselves.
Bro, Biden looks like he's up 24/7, dude. What is going on? They roll him off the adrenochrome schedule for like a little bit, and he just looks like absolute death right now.
The goods and the freight movers who take the goods from the ships to factories and to stores to step up as well. These private sector companies are the ones that hire the trucks and rail cars and move the goods. On this score, we have some good news to report as well. Today, Walmart, our nation's largest retailer, is committing to go all in on moving its products 24/7 from the ports to their stores nationwide. Specifically, Walmart is committing as much as a 50% increase in the use of off-peak hours over the next several weeks. Additionally, FedEx and UPS, two of our nation's biggest freight movers, are committing today to significantly increase the amount of goods they're moving at night. FedEx and UPS are the shippers for some of our nation's largest stores, but they also ship for tens of thousands of small businesses all across America. Their commitment to go all in on 24/7 operations means that businesses of all sizes will get their goods on shelves faster and more reliably. Accordingly, according to one estimate, together, FedEx and UPS alone move up to 40% of packages in America, up to 40%. And other companies are stepping up as well. They include Target, Home Depot, and Samsung that have all committed to ramp up their activities to utilize off-peak hours at the ports. So, the commitments being made today are a sign of major progress in moving goods from manufacturers to a store or to your front door. I want to thank my Supply Chain Disruption Task Force, which we set up in June, led by Secretaries Buttigieg, Raimondo, and Vilsack, and by my Director of National Economic Council, Brian Deese. I want to thank them for their leadership. And I especially want to thank Joe Porcari. I think Joe's done one heck of a job, my special envoy specifically on ports, who's been working this issue with all the stakeholders for the past several weeks. I also want to thank the port directors. I want to thank Gene and Mario again, and the mayors of Los Angeles and Long Beach, Mayor Garcetti and Mayor Garcia, for their leadership. And I think the private companies that are stepping up, I want to thank them, but I particularly want to thank labor. Willie Adams of the Longshoremen and Warehouses Union, who is here today, the Teamsters, the rail unions from the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen, and the International Association of Machinists, to the American Train Dispatchers Association, to Sheet Metal, Air and Rail, and Transportation Workers Union, known as SMART. I want to be clear. This is across-the-board commitment to going to 24/7. This is a big first step in speeding up the movement of materials and goods through our supply chain. But now we need the rest of the private sector chain to step up as well. This is not called a supply chain for nothing. This means that terminal operators, railways, trucking companies, shippers, and other retailers as well. Strengthening our supply chain will continue to be my team's focus. If federal support is needed, I will direct all appropriate action. And if the private sector doesn't step up, we're going to call them out and ask them to act. Because our goal is not only to get through this immediate bottleneck, but to address the long-standing weaknesses in our transportation
the people who are saying, why is Biden stepping up to fix this?
I might add,
this is a gigantic, if not the most important problem he's facing. Inflation, prices skyrocket, people can't get their goods that they paid for. America will fucking lose their shit, dude. Are you kidding me? They will lose their minds. Everything falls apart when you can't get your $5 jalapeno poppers. How many times do I have to stress this point?
Efficient supply chains, leaving no buffer or margin for error when it comes to certain parts arriving just in time is needed to make a final product. In our administration, Barack and ours, that's where it was just in time was the focus. We didn't have a pandemic and other things at the time. We need to take a longer view, though, that invest in building greater resilience to withstand the kinds of shocks we've seen over and over, year in and year out, whether it's the pandemic, extreme weather, climate change, cyber attacks, or other disruptions. In fact, research tells us that a company can expect to lose over 40% of 1 year's earnings every 10 years due to supply chain disruptions. A longer-term view means we invest in systems that have more time built in and our ability to produce, innovate, and partner with our allies. It also means companies throughout the supply chain, like maritime, air freight, and trucking companies, reduce their carbon emissions and help to meet our climate change goals. It also means creating and supporting good-paying jobs so folks want to stay in these jobs, so they can build the skills and careers and to make a decent living. It means more opportunities to join a union, especially for truckers. These steps are critical. They allow companies to pivot quickly when a disruption hits because they've invested in their workers' skills, and training up front to be able to adapt. We need to invest in making more of our products right here in the United States. Never again should our country and our economy be unable to make critical products we need because we don't have access to materials to make that product. Never again should we have to rely too heavily on one company or one country or one person in the world, particularly when countries don't share our values when it comes to labor and environmental standards. I've said before,
America, a beacon of labor values.
We are America. We still have the most productive workers and the most innovative minds in the world. But the rest of the world is closing in, and we risk losing our edge if we don't step up. In order to be globally competitive.
When I think of a country deeply, deeply involved in improving the conditions for the working class, I think of the United States of America, a country with a 10% unionization rate that still doesn't have maternal leave by default, federally mandated. You know, that sort of stuff.
Infrastructure and our people, with my infrastructure bill and my Build Back Better Act. These bills would transform our ports. There's billions of dollars for ports, highways, rail systems that sorely need upgrading, and would bring products faster and more efficiently from the factories to the store to your house. Let me be clear. We're proposing to make the biggest investment in ports in our history. The bill would also make investments in our supply chains and manufacturing and strengthening our ability to make more goods from the beginning to end right here in America. The bottom line, we've seen the cost of inaction in the pandemic, in the delays, and the congestion that affect every American. But it's fully within our capacity to act to make sure it never happens again. It's going to take a little time, and that we've unlocked the full might and dynamism of our economy and our people.
For the population explosion.
That's what we're going to do.
Let's go.
God bless you all, and may God bless the longshoremen, rail workers, truckers, and all the workers who are keeping our economy going. May God protect our troops. Thank you all so very much.
Can you tell parents that? You know what to do to lower gasoline prices? You can talk about worker safety, of course.
Okay. God bless our troops, the fucking stevedores and the longshoremen, dude. I'm still missing something though. Why are we having this bottleneck now? Is it because the production is ramping up after the pandemic? I'm low-key confused. Can you explain how shit just becomes an issue because my immediate reaction is just drive the boat, lol? Okay, but like, there are a ton of goods on that boat. How are you gonna fucking drop it in there? You know, it's not as easy as like top of the hour ad breaks where I just say, hey, it's top of the fucking hour every hour. There's time for a 60-second ad break. And like, the avoidance in that situation is easy too. Like, in order to avoid those ads at the top of the hour, this is the first one of the day. All you need to do is subscribe for $5 a month or for free with a Twitch Prime if you have one and you haven't used one yet. You can literally fucking avoid the ads. Or if you don't want to subscribe, you're like, fuck this guy. Well, then you can also use an ad block or a VPN.
Keep it up.
But Twitch Prime is free if you have stolen someone else's, like your wife's boyfriend's Amazon Prime account and connected to your Twitch account. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the ad break now. Wasn't a problem. I was a truck mechanic for the last 4 years and work slowed way down when COVID hit. Yeah.
Complex system where you see the same input leading to longer and longer delays. That is a very worrying sign that things are getting worse and worse and worse.
And with less supply on the shelves, prices are surging. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen spoke with CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Norah O'Donnell.
Is the economy unjust and we get the pandemic under control, these pressures will mitigate, and I believe we'll go back to normal levels.
Of course, one big question is how is all of this going to impact the holiday shopping season? Now, some companies had the foresight to start bringing things in early, but others that are waiting for inventory cannot guarantee an arrival date. So Ryan Peterson, who we just heard from, says to start shopping now. Nate?
Someone just pointed this out, but holy fuck, dude. Gary V. Remember, chat, when we looked at Gary V like a couple weeks ago, and he was like, I'm going out and I'm going to every garage sale and I'm buying these dinos for like $1. Guess what? It's like $17 on eBay. That's pure profit, baby. And we laughed at him. We laughed at him because, like, you know, he was probably coming off the heels of like imagining that his fucking family had been murdered. You know what I mean? Turns out he was fucking right, dude. He was right. We laughed at him and he was fucking right, dude. Maybe I should start imagining that, like, my entire family has been ruthlessly and brutally murdered or something. I know now what it's like to be poor. Slammed into the intro ad, immediately slammed by the top of the hour ad. Oh, shit. Wait, you're subscribed. Why the fuck would you see the intro ad or the top of the hour ad? Guys, we got another problem, though. In the treat economy, going forward, the pumpkin shortage is causing rising prices in parts of the U.S.
Pumpkin panic. It could be harder than ever to find pumpkins this year. Janae Norman has more on how to make sure you don't miss out before Halloween. She's live from a pumpkin patch. She's there in New Jersey. Good morning, Janae. Love the flannel. Nice touch.
Robin, it is autumn.
Why is she laughing like that? Dude, this is the thing I don't understand about newscasters. Like, it's not that funny. She just says she loves the flannel. Why are you laughing?
I've got my flannel and my vest. I belong on a pumpkin patch. I'm surrounded by them out here, but in some parts of the country, these are harder to find these days. And because of things like COVID.
Dude, a pumpkin shortage is literally like the least concerning, dumbest thing you could ever fucking worry about. Like, I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah, you can't have fun this year, okay? No pumpkin fun. I got pumpkins last week, $25 for as many as you can carry.
And blight and weather. These gourds are getting harder to find. The owners of this farm in New Jersey say they'll be fine. They just won't have the extras like.
This is a war against white women, dude. White girls specifically. That's right. I said it. Joe Biden needs to fix this shortage right now.
Usual. They're the harbingers of Halloween, the ghoulish gourds, the elusive icon of Charlie Brown and Linus's All Hallows Eve.
Oh, great pumpkin, where are you?
But this year, in some parts of the country, some pumpkins are proving hard to find.
Certain areas just have had bad years with crops.
Annette Jackson, co-owner of Jackson's Greenhouses and Garden Center in Topeka, Kansas, says getting these gourds has been tough this year compared to years past.
We felt kind of fortunate to get these. Then when we found that there was a problem in other areas.
Pumpkins are big business. In 2020, farmers harvested more than 1 billion pounds of pumpkins in just 6 states, and nearly half of Americans surveyed this year planned to carve a pumpkin. In Lafayette, California, Marty Martinez has been buying pumpkins for his nursery for 25 years, telling KGO at the end of September some prices were soaring.
In some cases, it's almost doubled, especially in the specialty white ones that are very hard to come by.
Experts say a number of issues are to blame. The pandemic, a lack of workers, and shipping delays all contributing to the smaller supply this year. And some farms that had to lay off workers are simply no longer around.
A lot of the patches just went out of business. They gave up.
Plus, droughts in some parts of California causing a loss in pumpkin production. Pumpkin production up 22.
Probably 10 acres only did half this year.
But pumpkin lovers have no fear. In many areas, the pumpkins are plentiful, but you might just be haunted by the prices. And in
my favorite type of coverage is like when they add puns into it. Areas not impacted by the pumpkin shortage might be pumping out production. These prices are gonna carve a hole in your wallet. You know, that sort of thing. Scarier than a jack-o'-lantern. American news. And that's a gourd thing. Back to you, Hasan. Oh my God, that's so bad.
Illinois, which grows an estimated 80 to 90% of pumpkins around the country, they are dealing with a fungus that causes pumpkins to prematurely rot, leading to concerns about a shortage of regular pumpkins, but also canned pumpkins, if you're looking for that in the next month, Robin.
But wait, there's more. We're hearing there's a possible Christmas tree shortage this year too, Janae.
Oh, fuck no, dude. That's where I draw the goddamn line. Okay, fuck it, dude. This is a true war on Christmas. That's right. Me and the Mujahideen. Me and the Mujah boys. You know what I'm saying? We did it. We did it, boys. We won the war on Christmas. Yeah, fuck you, Christians. Get fucked. You want a Christmas tree? Fuck off. Just kidding. I actually love Christmas. I love all the mass consumption holidays. I'm a disgusting hedonist. You know this. Damn, dude. White women are literally under attack, dude.
Robin, the hits just keep on coming. Yeah, this goes back to the Great Recession, and the trees in the ground now, a Wisconsin tree grower tells us that those trees are just too small.
I have a quick question. Why in the ever-loving fuck would I watch an Alex Jones false COVID documentary and take an hour off and think about that instead of spamming that link over and over again?
Small, and there aren't enough.
It's literally from band.video.
Fake
dude.
trees coming from China because of chain supply distribution issues. So a lot of not good news out there. So get your pumpkins and your trees early.
Yeah, we'll do that. You're looking right at home there. I was going to say on the farm, but in the patch.
Oh, Robin, the good news, though, is that pumpkin spice is everywhere.
Everywhere. That's true. That's true. Be safe. Take care. Thank you, Janae. Well, hey there, GMA fans.
So strange, dude. What will white women do on Instagram? The 5 are slamming the supply chain handling, saying we are in a danger zone. I do agree, by the way. And I love this. I love the coverage from, oh my God, what is this, like 10p? What the fuck is this quality?
Facing a nightmare.
I love this because it's like, this is the audience that would be most impacted by it. You know what I mean? The petite bourgeois, the small business tyrants. These are the motherfuckers who are going to be most impacted by this. Because, like, if you're a consumer and you work every day and you're like, man, I want a nice treat for myself, but yeah, whatever, it's not coming in on time, that's one thing. But the real people impacted by this are going to be the small business owners who are like, oh no, one, we can't deliver the fucking treats on time to the other treat boys. And two, they themselves want like their nice purchases and they can't get it, and that's fucked up. It's like, dude, if there is a God, okay, or if there is some sort of like karmic justice, they're a fucking asshole, okay? It's not lined up in favor of the good, okay? Good things are not happening. It's just bad things that are happening, okay? No good things, only bad things. And what I mean by that is because, like, just everything is stacked up against, everything is stacked in favor of Donald Trump. Stacked in favor of Donald Trump getting reelected.
Mayor, come Christmas time, thanks to rising inflation and a supply crisis, gifts are going to cost you a fortune. And that's even if you're lucky enough to snag anything, thanks to massive delays rocking the supply chain. Store shelves are looking pretty empty as U.S. ports struggle to unload deliveries. And get this, major retailers are actually being forced to charter their own ships. And on top of all of that, Biden's massive spending plans are set to make things 100 times worse. He's set to address the supply crisis tomorrow, he says. And Jen Psaki was pressed on why the president isn't being more forceful with the unions to loosen work restrictions that would ease the flow of goods.
We have taken steps at times, when warranted, to loosen restrictions, as you saw in reaction to some natural disasters we've had over the course of the year. Ultimately, the president's focus is addressing the needs, the challenges, and the threats to the American people to their well-being, to their economic well-being, and he'll consider a range of options. But again, the supply chain task force has been working for months to address these issues.
The task force. And where's Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg? He hasn't been to a White House briefing since this whole crisis started. And when he manages to get in front of a camera, he doesn't say much.
We do believe there's a role for the federal government to play to help smooth out some of these supply chain issues. It's largely a private sector system. We are funding, of course, as a department, a lot of work on the rails, on the roads, and supporting trucking, which is also a
Oh, dude, if there's any sweet victory, it's that Biden, that old fuck, who still has a little bit of spunk in him. You know what I mean? Like old conniving, old school conniving politician spunk in him, shifts the blame in its entirety onto Pete Buttigieg, front loads all of that to him, and just destroys any fucking chance that Pete has at like winning the Democratic nomination. Oh fuck, that would be so good. He put Kamala in charge of the border, okay? And now everyone's yelling about like, why is Kamala not at the border? And now this shit's popping off. If he just turns around and he's just like, come on, Jack, I put the young guy on it. You know, the gay one. Figure it out, Buttigieg. Oh, Jesus Christ. Cut the malarkey, I said. And then everybody's just like yelling at him for not being able to get a fucking PS5 or whatever. Oh, that'd be so sick. That would be so excellent, dude. It's like, oh.
Big issue. We've got some real challenges on the labor side with the turnover of truck drivers that can make it harder to get goods to where they need to go. Some of this is a bigger picture, longer term issue that's going to take years and years to address.
Years and years to address, Dana. Kind of a laid back attitude from the administration.
Is there like no urgency for anything?
No.
Like why we just feel so much urgency during the campaign?
The treats! Is there no urgency for this? I mean, they are speaking to their audience perfectly, by the way. This is literally like the best. This is commentary that fits perfectly within the realm of whatever the fuck Fox News watchers want. They want to know when their fucking, jalapenos are coming. The jalapeno poppers.
During the primary campaign. Joe Biden said about Mayor Pete that he's so inexperienced that while Joe Biden's been in Washington all this time, he's only been putting twinkly lights under a bridge. I mean, that was how insulting he was to him. And now you have somebody who was literally in charge of the ports and the airlines. And he's like, yeah, I'm hanging out with AOC at the dog park. Yesterday, he tweeted about Indigenous Peoples Day. And you think, again, I mentioned this yesterday about Kamala Harris. Like, you are in these positions of power. You're in a position to do something, or at least.
Yeah, why is the big government not commanding the private sector? Love it. I'm on board. Let's do it. Hey, that's socialism. You can clip that and be like, oh my God, socialism is when big government commands the private sector, blah, 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 and then fucking cry about it for hours, okay? By the way, the original person who fucking quoted me when I was like fucking memeing about Austin saying that stadiums are capitalism is a fan. Like, I knew that already. I was talking about an entire separate group of people who like latched onto it to fucking be like, oh, this guy's so stupid, dude. Anyway. Are they really complaining about how the government is not big enough? Yeah, I fucking don't get it, dude. I don't know what's going on there. It's kind of strange. Kind of seems like they want some good old wholesome big government interference there.
Just let people know we care, because
That was weeks ago, though. I know, but it doesn't fucking matter. People are like losing their minds all the time.
nothing says return to normal like a shortage of toilet paper, which is what we're about to see. And we are getting into this crisis of confidence danger zone. When little Jesse Jr. can't get his Christmas presents, that's going to be bad.
Oh, no.
That will be bad, and he will not be happy about it. However, I think there's another thing here. It's beyond people not getting Christmas presents. Think of all the companies and the people who do seasonal holiday work, right? Where they're helping ship things out and get things on the stores. All those companies that hire people for the holidays, there will be no need to do that.
You're an elf.
And what's the ripple effect?
You're an elf at the mall.
I know. You and I have so much fun doing that.
Great.
I know.
Though Santa's always drunk.
And we do it for free.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, Greg, was it 2 months ago, Joe Biden came out and said, our experts believe, this is a quote, that these bottlenecks and price spikes will reduce as our economy continues to heal. That was 2 months ago.
First, I got to point out that the best part about the story is that there's a backlog of toilet paper. The worst thing to have when there's no TP is a backlog. So, yeah.
Great, dude. Most popular. This is the king of late night, by the way. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Thank you.
That's about the best joke he's told this season.
Really? You haven't been here.
If you combine,
so
so what we're seeing right now is we're combining inflation with scarcity. This is a new thing. So we're finally getting the dystopia that the media said Trump was going to bring us, except it's old Joe who's bringing us Soylent Green and bringing us to the Thunderdome that Trump didn't. I think our political leaders, while you're not sensing the urgencies, don't mind these problems. They don't mind that you pay more for gas because you drive less, right? Yeah. And the fact that you have less money in the bank means you have to rely on them. So it becomes more of a government state. So there's no urgency. Their kids are going to get the gifts that your kids aren't going to get, because that's why they're in politics, to be exempt from the scarcity that we have to deal with. Remember
What? Wait, one, who was the president when we ran out of toilet paper? And two, politicians got into politics so they can get the fucking, so they could get the treats before everybody else? What? I'm getting into politics to get my friend a PS5 for Christmas. Please vote for me. The First Amendment was a fucking mistake. Yeah, every day I get closer and closer to a Chinese-style authoritarian grip on what the press can and can't say. The more I watch Fox News, the more I'm like, maybe we should jail fucking pundits. Of course, in a situation like the United States of America, the first pundit that was going to jail would be me, and not these fucking reactionary weirdos, but, you know, I just dream away, I guess. But, like, holy fuck, dude.
Politicians in power did nothing about crime because it didn't affect them, and they still haven't. They preached total lockdowns because they were exempt from the total lockdowns. We need to abandon the idea that these people in power actually give a damn about us. The only way you're going to get any urgency out of them is if they get scared.
I mean, he's not wrong. The people in power don't give a fuck about us, right? And I agree, right? But also, like, but you're like an advocate for the Republican Party regularly. So what the fuck does that mean? Like, these guys never criticize Republicans, like, ever. At least I criticize the Democratic Party all the time. Probably more than I fucking ever give them props for doing the right thing. Also, you guys are all like multi-millionaires. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh, we're not going to be able to cut the line. What the fuck is that? Listen, motherfucker. You and I, we can make do without the treats, okay? Let's talk. King of late night comedy, Greg Gutfeld. King of late night Twitch streams, or daily Twitch streams, HasanAbi, okay? Let's talk mano y mano. What is this, like, politicians are doing this so they can cut the line and get the treats? Good old fake populism went out of power from right-wingers. I mean, they did that hand to hand. Is that what mano y mano means? I thought it was fucking man to man. Anyway.
Greg's point, yes, they're not going to be affected by the rise in prices, Dagan, but it's also a PR thing for them. They don't want to appear that anything is a crisis.
Right.
They want to appear that they have everything under control, and this is just a smooth recovery. And that's not sitting well with the American people who are actually affected by this.
Right. They're trying to remain calm. Instead, they come across.
How can you claim to be an LA guy and not know basic Spanish? Motherfucker, I'm fluent in a different language. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Sorry that my fucking proficiency and my first language is Turkish. My bad. A country that is like incredibly far removed from Latin America. Like, I just didn't fucking learn Spanish.
As uncaring asses.
Right.
This is what happens when people in power act according to their ideology and don't act according to basic economic fundamentals. Everything described here in terms of the supply chain problems, the labor shortages, the spike in inflation is a self-inflicted wound by the Biden administration. It's intentional, and even if it wasn't directly related to some of the recovery from the pandemic, it is certainly exacerbating all the troubles. One, you don't pay people to stay at home. So you have the labor shortage, almost 10.5 million.
Like, what were they supposed... First of all, Donald Trump did that. And I praise the fucking administration for doing that, even though they low-key had to do that. And also, what was the counter? Were they supposed to get fucking murdered? Like, what kind of take is this, bro? What is this? Some motherfuckers' jobs isn't just to sit in front of a camera and be like, man, this sucks, get back to work, you slaves. Okay? And I say this as a fucking Twitch streamer, okay? So that's the difference between someone like this fucking evil villain-looking Andy over here and someone like myself, okay? It's so wild. Like, these ghouls, they're literally like, meh, why are the workers getting paid to survive and exist when they can't work? Nuts, dude. And they never asked that same question to, like, why are small businesses being kept afloat by the government? Where did the fucking PPP loans go to? How many of these businesses were prosecuted for misusing the funds that they got, the loans that they got from the government? You know?
Jobs still open. There are 3 million people who have completely left the labor force. But then you pay people extra, say unemployment that started earlier this year, it just expired, but you don't juice demand while supplies are tight. And this task force they're talking about because that creates inflation. This task force is ludicrous because we've known since at least beginning of this year that the ships coming in were going to be a huge headache. That's when the big retailers started worrying about it. In terms of energy prices, this, again, is intentional. You cancel the Keystone XL pipeline, you cancel all new permits for drilling on federal land, and then you, in a crisis, beg OPEC to pump more, which does nothing to fight global warming. And you know who gets screwed in all of this? The small businesses. They don't have inventory, and they have nothing to sell to raise revenue. They can't even pay. A woman burst into tears here in New York City. They're not going to get inventory, rug inventory, until next year. They might not make it through the holiday season because they can't pay their rent.
Your thoughts, Geraldo?
Well, I think that you're putting way too much blame on Joe Biden. Not that that is surprising. I understand that he's an easy target, but we've lived through the most disruptive health crisis in a century. We've lost 700,000 Americans. It is not surprising that not just Joe Biden, but the owner and the guy who runs Walmart and all the Target and all the other big stores, Amazon, they didn't anticipate this phenomenon either. He had all these people getting all this money. Here's $1,400 check.
Wait a second. Dagan just said they did anticipate it, and that was months and months ago.
Early this year.
Well, who's they that they anticipated?
All
what
the big
did they
retailers.
anticipate? Listen, if you have a ship and you order the...
It's fucking bullshit. This notion that, like, people were anticipating this and, like, seeing that it was going to be this bad. I mean, sure, people thought there were going to be bottlenecks. But the problem is that, like, no one knew it was going to be this bad until recently when it started becoming a serious fucking problem. And ultimately... the guys, he only gets paid $100K per language he speaks. That's why he makes $700K a month. Oh, because he speaks Papagan too, which is like 3 languages at once. Do they have this guy in the audience? Yeah, exactly. He is the villain. He is the villain type here. He's the voice of reason, unfortunately. Anyway,
product in January and it gets there in March. Don't order it in March, the 2 weeks before you need it, because you're trying to save money, spending money on inventory. I think it's really cruel. Let me just give you a personal story quickly. My youngest just turned 16. As I did with all of my children, I got her a car. Well, I got her a Mini. Okay. And I got her older sister and the oldest sister, they all got Minis.
Flex.
I sat down. It was great celebration. Oh, Sol, you're 16. You passed your driver's test. Isn't this great? The car's going to be delivered in 4 months.
Nah.
I mean, it's like crazy, but these people...
You are truly suffering, Geraldo.
And
your brand new car is delayed by 4 months.
Oh, listen to the populist.
This cold winter without your Mini.
Listen to the populist, who lives in his mansion in Greenwich Village.
I wish.
My point is that this is a cascading problem where plenty of people are responsible and didn't anticipate.
But Geraldo, this is the President of the United States. He says the buck stops with him.
What if it was Trump?
Everybody knew this was coming months before, and now he has a task force. Okay?
But he had one
the task
in February
force hasn't
too.
done anything.
They had a commission in February, and they reported in June, the Biden administration, on the supply chain issues. And one of the things they said is, you know what we need? More green energy.
Oh, it's always green energy. It's always the answer to everything.
They like the high gas prices because it forces people to use green energy that doesn't make any economic sense unless gas is at $3.
What the fuck does that even mean? Green energy isn't even fucking green at the moment. Like, what does that even mean? Like, they like high gas prices? Like, why? No, nobody likes that. Like, that's literally not how this works, man. What the fuck? I feel like she's just saying shit. High gas prices impact every part of the economy. Okay? We work on the petrodollar. It is a significant source of revenue. And it impacts every sector. Like, it's not like trucks are fucking running on green energy. And even then it would be like, it's not like fleets are fucking running without gas. And even then it's still like, how do you charge those things? Nobody likes high gas prices. That's so fucking stupid. It's like, the thing that annoys me about this sort of stuff is that, like, they just fucking totally make shit up, right? And then your fucking parents believe it. That's the, like, they are literally making a living making your parents dumber than they originally were before listening to it.
50 cents a
And
gallon
we all
or 5.
pray for that mini to come as soon as possible.
Thank you. Thank you.
The pandemic's growing impact on the workplace. 4.3 million Americans left their jobs in August alone. That's the highest number since 2000. Experts say workers are looking for better opportunities, better hours, and more perks. Trouble with childcare has also contributed to the employment across the country. All this as we are now seeing people leave the workplace due to the vaccine mandates. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for...
That was a 20-second clip. What the fuck was that?